Hey, welcome to another episode of the Nerd Herders. I'm Nick.
And I'm Rich.
And we are from the Overview channel. And this week we've been drinking some Sam Adams holiday beer. I've been drinking the Holiday Porter.
I've been drinking the old Fizzawig ale.
And they're just fine.
Mine's gone.
Oh.
It's a sad time.
Well, like a quarter of it ended up on the kitchen floor, so.
It's true.
Well, anyway.
His fault, not mine.
What are we doing today?
We're doing Stream It.
Stream It.
Stream it again. Crossing those streams.
Yep. You know what you can do in a stream?
What?
You can go salmon fishing in the Yemen. You can do that in a stream.
I hope that's not my movie today.
I never saw that movie. Alright, so Stream It, what we do is we basically use Netflix.
Yep.
We give each other something to stream that's on there that hopefully the other person hasn't actually seen, and then we talk about it.
Yeah.
So we've had some good ones recently. We've had some bad ones. Last week you gave me a really bad one. The new Netflix series, Real Rob. I watched the first and second episode.
And then
I said, now you have to. So
yeah,
that's what
so you had me watch Real
Yes.
Rob, and I only watched the first episode. You also said I could only watch.
I said that was fine. That's all you had to watch.
So I watched episode 1 of Real Rob.
I hated this show.
I did too.
I hated it. Okay.
I hated it. I agree there was like 1 or 2 jokes in it that I was amused by. I liked the airport bit.
It was fun.
Where the bootleg signed the bootleg and he's like, you really want me to sign a Deuce Bigelow special features bootleg disc? But the rest of it's just terrible.
It's so bad. And they keep jumping from device to device.
Well, yeah, it's like, it's so like oddly paced where it's like, well, here's this, well, this worked in this show, let's throw this in. Let's, like, they just keep throwing shit at the wall and trying to see what sticks. That's his real wife. She's a terrible actress.
Oh, yeah.
No offense out there if she's watching. I don't think she is.
Imagine if she was.
Actually, kind of cool. I'm sorry if you're watching. I'm sorry. If you're not, I don't care.
Yeah.
But and it was kind of what you said before. Like at least, you know, we ran into Ridiculous Six quite a bit and talked about how like bored kind of Sandler and stuff seemed to be in that, and that's kind of how we got to Real Rob. But it does seem like he's trying. Like he's giving an effort in this.
He's definitely trying. Actually, to the point where it feels like you can see it off the screen, him thinking, this is going to be great. People are going to love me for this.
But his character is such a dick.
Mm-hmm.
Like, unnecessarily. So you look at something like Curb where, yes, he's kind of an asshole, but he kind of just falls into these situations and it just kind of organically works. Mm-hmm. And where this one, like, from the get-go, he gets out of the airport and is just like yelling at his assistant and yelling at everybody and like it's just kind of unnecessarily being a jerk about it, and it just doesn't quite work. And the setups, you know, there's the whole spoilers. I don't really care. There's the whole like, oh, you know, who knows my schedule? He has a stalker, and his assistant comments how the stalker knows his schedule better than the assistant does, and he gets to this point where he fires his assistant like, oh, how am I going to get here? Where am I going to go? Who knows my schedule that well? My stalker. He gets a ride with him. Like, it's just so forced and so tropey. I mean, that's not really trope. I mean, it's just...
It's bad.
Yeah, it's...
And it just is so blatantly a ripoff of Curb.
Yeah.
But
then there's these interviews that don't fit.
The interviews are like out of Modern Family, and then...
But they're not even hanging out in their home like it's a doc.
No,
it's like...
And then the stand-up. The stand-up.
Yeah.
Is, right, nobody was in that room. And it's the worst jokes. But it's not played to be the worst jokes. It's played like he thinks it's a golden act.
Men and women comparisons, typical comedian stuff.
And my wife, she talking like this, and then she tells me this, and it's like he thinks...
And as a man, you know, I'm thinking, you know...
It's so bad, man. It's like... I didn't like the fake Rob, and I definitely don't like the real Rob. That's the takeaway. Like, I will never watch another episode.
Well, and then it does the whole, you know, like Seinfeld thing where it's, you know, it's about him making a show about him. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, how much are you going to cram to this episode? Like, it just kind of kept going. I'm like, isn't this...
I can't imagine where it goes. I think it's 13 episodes.
Now, you said you watched the second one, too, and that's no better.
No, it's no better.
Okay.
Because that was the thing. I was like, well, a comedy pilot's weird. It's not good. It's a really bad show. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Real Rob.
Real Rob.
It only took you 30 minutes.
That's true. think it's gonna be the last time we talk about Real Rob on the show.
Ever.
Hopefully.
I can't.
We'll see. We'll see what happens when season 2 comes out. I may make you watch it.
I don't think they're gonna make it. I just don't see them making it.
All right.
All right. So you had me watch.
Mm-hmm.
That was a bad sitcom.
Yes.
A sitcom that we both really like is Community.
Yes.
And the creator of that show, Dan Harmon,
Mm-hmm.
there's a documentary
Mm-hmm.
that follows him, and it's available on Netflix
Mhm.
called Harmontown, and I
Yes.
watched it. And I really liked it.
Cool.
I have listened to maybe 2 episodes of Harmontown in my life.
Okay.
So I wouldn't call myself a big fan. I watched, basically when I was listening to a lot of podcasts, I still do, I listen to nothing but podcasts, but when I first started, I heard about it, and I listened to a few and just forgot that it existed.
Yeah.
And so it's really interesting. He went, after he was fired from Community, he was doing the show Harmontown, and they went on tour,
Mm-hmm.
a 20-day tour, basically 20 cities almost, it seemed like, and doing a whole show every night, basically.
Yeah.
And this kind of chronicles that, but it also kind of goes back and shows like his Hollywood journey, and it's funny, and then it gets real, and then it gets kind of dark. Like you kind of see, like just what is in this guy,
Mhm.
And I really liked it.
Cool. I'm glad.
First thing I did this morning was then I went and I downloaded the latest episode of the show just to kind of listen to it now with the context of having seen it.
Mhm.
And it's funny. There's a whole bit near the end about how he realizes that like he's going to be the hero or the villain of this
Yeah.
story, and that the D&D master, the dungeon master, is going to be like the
Mhm.
hero. And like I didn't know anything about that guy.
Yeah.
When I first started listening to Harmontown, they hadn't started doing D&D.
Oh, really? That was a while ago.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was early on, and that guy Steven, right?
Spencer.
He, like, what a crazy story
Yeah.
to just show up at this like live podcast
And just kind of
wanting to
make
play
his way
dungeon,
onto
and
the.
now he's like, people know him, and there's a fan art, and people are taking pictures.
And he's in Community too.
Right, yeah, they show that. At the,
Okay, I couldn't remember if that was in the documentary.
Yeah, they show him. That's almost how it ends, because Dan Harmon got rehired for Community, and then they show him getting filmed, and it was really interesting. It was a really interesting journey, but again, just seeing like how, like there were points where I was watching it, and I was like, I feel like one day we're gonna hear that Dan Harmon killed himself. Like that's how it looks. Maybe he's in a better place now with Rick and Morty, but I don't know.
Well, I mean, Rick and Morty, yes, and then like, Aaron's in the documentary. His girlfriend at the time.
Is he still with her?
Well, they got married 2014, and then got divorced last year. Which I didn't know until, because I hadn't listened. I kind of fell off of the podcast. I was kind of listening to it weekly, and then I fell off sometime last year, like right around after they'd gotten married. And I finally was like, I was looking for something to listen to, kind of like caught up on everything. I was like, oh, I haven't listened to Harmontown, let me catch up. And he starts talking about his divorce. And I was, and I was like, did he have another wife? Did I miss something? And then I looked into it and it was like, oh no, they got separated.
So
already.
she has nothing to do with it anymore and all that.
No, not that I could tell. But,
Yeah, because I mean, she's obviously a pretty integral part. It looks like she does the D&D on the show with them, and she was throughout the entire documentary. And there's that whole part where it looks like it probably would have been the worst city to go see that tour in, where it just looks like it was deadly serious, and they had gotten in a fight, and he's like, she's telling how bad it was on stage, and he's like, and then they ask him something about like, what if she left you, and he's like, she would never leave me, I would never leave her, we'd never break up, and she knows if she left me I'd kill myself. And it doesn't feel like a joke. It feels like he was in a really dark spot. And it was just like, God. And I mean, you understand, it makes him human.
Yeah, I mean, and that's, you get that a lot in the podcast. You have like these moments, where it's all just kind of jokey, and then he kind of like starts in that very Dan Harmon way of just sort of rambling on and like sort of spiraling into this dark discussion of life and what's going on, and
And one of the things they say early on, somebody says when they're interviewing like all the people, like Stiller and Jack Black and blah blah blah, somebody says how one of the greatest things about him is also one of the worst things about him is how open and honest he is. And that obviously got him in a lot of trouble with Community, with the Chevy Chase stuff and all that.
I mean, look what happened when they aired season 4. He went, it's like, it's like watching your watching your family being tied up and forced to watch your family raped on the beach or some weird like comment like that. And
yeah, but it's also what can make him so genius.
Yeah, I mean, and you definitely see that in the writing on Community and the writing on Rick and Morty and all that stuff. And
yeah, and just his passion about stuff.
Like there's those moments, and you know, and in Rick and Morty is very much a collaboration between both him and Roiland, and you see kind of the same moments of heart and stuff that are on Community that you can really see that kind of go through.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and even Spencer, like there's that one, I don't know if you remember, there's one part where they're sitting and he's talking to him and he's like, you know, I guess he wrote, or at the time he was writing a blog, maybe he still does, and I guess he had written something about how he's not really ever happy, and he gives this whole thing about how like he gives people like fake smiles, and like even this guy who's just like this guy who's nowhere, and he has all these fans now, like still can't be happy, and it's like these are real people and they can be really funny, and I feel like so many comedians are that way, and it's really interesting. Like if you ever listen to WTF, like so many of them have such dark lives, and it's like so odd that those are so often the funniest people. I think it's because they're so real, but I don't know. I really enjoyed it. It was a good watch. I'm
glad.
And yeah, good recommendation. So that's
Cool.
Harmontown on Netflix. Watch that. Real Rob's on Netflix. Don't watch that.
Nope.
And now's the time where we give each other something new to watch.
Yeah.
So, do you want to go first?
Sure. So I have another doc to give you.
Okay.
It's called Dear Zachary. If you've not seen this, correct? Okay. Now, I mentioned it to you earlier. Did you ever look into anything about it? Okay.
Is it Z is for Zachary?
No.
It's not a movie. It's a zombie movie from last year, I think.
Oh,
Chris
yeah,
Pine.
that sounds right. But no, it is not. It's not a zombie movie.
Okay.
I do recommend going into this, though, knowing nothing about it. That was kind of recommended to me going into it, and I went in blind. I recommend going in blind if you can.
Hard to watch something blind.
Yeah. You can listen to it.
All right.
Dear Zachary.
Dear Zachary. Cool. I will watch that. It's on Netflix, right?
Yep.
Now, one thing that we always say is we primarily use Netflix, but there are other streaming options.
Yes, there are.
and sometimes I wanted to branch out. Now,
Okay.
I gave you what is maybe one of the worst TV shows I've ever watched.
Okay.
Real Rock. And so now I'm going to make you watch 2 episodes
Okay.
of the best show I've ever watched. Streaming on HBO,
Okay.
which you have access to, and a lot of you I'm sure do. The Wire.
Ooh.
I want you to watch the first 2 episodes of The
All right.
Wire. It is widely regarded as probably the greatest television show of our time. That's how I feel. And watch the first 2 episodes. Don't just watch the first. It is good, but it is the type of show, and people say this all the time about shows, it seems, you gotta give it a few.
Yeah.
This is not a show where like big things happen in one episode, and, like you don't go back and you remember like one episode. You remember the season. So
Okay.
if you just watch one, you might not fully get it.
Okay.
Watch a couple.
All right, I'll
and
give
just see what you think.
I'll give it 2 episodes.
So that's The Wire, streaming HBO Now, HBO Go, if you have those.
I'm excited. It's one of the shows I've been meaning to watch.
I know. We've talked about it before,
Yeah.
and now's the time.
Cool.
Cool. So The Wire, Dear Zachary, we will report back next week
Yep.
with that. And maybe we'll give a leak to our thoughts on them on our social media accounts. You
Yeah.
can find me at Stonks on Twitter.
You can find me at Rich Belson on Twitter, and you can find the channel at oabeer_official. You can also email us at overbeerofficial@gmail.com. Maybe it's something that you think we should watch on Netflix. You can suggest it there. You can write that in. You can also find us on Facebook at facebook.com/overbeer, and you can find us on YouTube by searching for Overbeer, searching for Nerd Herders, clicking on this video if you're watching it on not YouTube right now. If you like these videos, please share them with your friends and subscribe to our channel. Our goal right now is to hit 100 subscribers so that we can make a custom YouTube URL to give you guys. But I think that's going to do it for today. So until next time, we'll see you guys later.
Later.